I'm Mike Arnold, and I'm the owner and operator of Bespoke Rail, and I run this business with my wife, Emily. We create handcrafted railroad merchandise like cups, coasters, wooden signs, and other things. So when I got the idea for Bespoke Rail, it all kind of stemmed back from when my mom started her own company about 6 months prior to when we started Bespoke. She was making similar items like these cups and these whiskey barrel signs, and me being into railroads my entire life, I was like, well, this would be kind of cool if we put some train logos on these. I think they would sell really well. So I had some samples made up in February, and I gifted them to my two friends. And I was just like, hey, what do you guys think about these? And the feedback from them was tremendous. They're like, you need to do these full time. This needs to be like a thing. So I took that feedback and I kind of did some research and talked to my mom and my wife, and we decided that it kind of needed to be spun off into its own thing, and that's kind of how Bespoke Rail was born. When I brought this idea to my wife, Emily, she was very supportive of the whole idea because she wants me to be able to thrive in something that I'm passionate about. Emily is heavily involved in the business. She helps with all of the cups, maintains everything on the back end of the website, handwrites thank you notes to our customers, and paints all of the signs by hand. My mom and dad play a huge role in our business. My mom makes sure that all of our cups are epoxy coated to the highest quality possible, and my dad handles all of our CNC work, from creating the bitmap files off of images that I create to cutting all of our wood products. The inspiration behind the look and the brand, I've always liked the Rock Island, probably for the last 10 years. Really when I started to get vested into my modeling, because I do model railroading on the side. And I just wanted to showcase the Rock Island with our company. We also do make merchandise for Rock Island Rail. We are licensed through them, and we have products on our website. So what makes our products unique is they're all handmade out of our house between me, my wife, and my mom. A good example is our tumblers. We start with a bare stainless base. We hand paint all of them. We die cut the graphics. Sometimes they're multiple colors and they need to be stacked. That gets applied to the cup and it gets finished off with epoxy. So it's got this glass-like finish on it. Accuracy is important to me because I want to make sure that we're representing the railroads on how they were back then. They took the time and the care to create these beautiful images for people to enjoy. So I wanted to make sure that we are preserving that history. Even though it's just a cup, it's important. Most of the time what'll happen is I'll have a customer that will reach out and they'll want a custom item done. And it'll be for a railroad that really doesn't have a lot of history preserved online. So they'll send me like fragments of a logo or maybe a photo of a logo that wasn't necessarily very high quality. So I will do the best of my ability to pile on the research, make sure that I recreate the logo faithfully and make it look as well as it did back then. I'll spend hours on the computer essentially remastering a logo and recreating it piece by piece to make sure that it's as correct as possible. So some of the most challenging logos I've had to recreate absolutely would be the California Zephyr for a customer we did recently. I had to find a copy of a book on the internet essentially and pull the logo off the front of the book and then go back and recreate that. Other than that, the other one that comes to mind immediately was we had someone that really wanted a wooden sign with the Texas Pacific logo. And the TNP did not have a lot of stuff on the internet available to look at. Even on the historical site, there's not much that's very high quality. So that one recently, I also took a small file and recreated it full size. So an example of like a custom item that we could do for you and that we've had customers ask for in the past would be something like this. It's a CNC engraved piece of pine with the BN logo on the front, hand painted. And on the back, we have this really neat, historic, genuine BN timetable from the very short amount of time that they ran passenger trains. It's really rewarding to hear nice things about your products, especially when it's like they come up to the booth and they pick something up and they're like, wow, this really brings me back to my childhood, which happened multiple times at Train Fest. A guy walked out of there with a Burlington Northern barrelhead because he came back 4 times. Could not stop talking about his childhood, about how he used to rail fan the BN, he had models when he was a kid, and he just kept saying it just kept bringing him back to that memory, and he wanted to have something to showcase that in his house. So that, is the whole reason why any of this is here.